Hi guys, Jim here with another little knife video. And today I just want to kind of talk about automatic knives a little bit. You know, what's the fascination? Why do we love automatic knives so much? I think the main thing is really just going to be the cool factor, man. There's a lot of, cool gadgety stuff that goes on inside of there that we don't understand. We haven't opened it up. We don't know what's going on in there, but yet maybe there's a magical little elf that's in there and shoving our blade out and retracting it back for us. We all know it's like magic. The cool thing is it's something powerful. It's a feeling of power in the hand. It's like, why are we attracted to cars that go fast, motorcycles that go fast, that go beyond any practical need? Do I need a motorcycle that does 200 miles an hour? Absolutely not. Do I want to have it? Abso-freaking-lutely. Am I ever going to use it to its full potential? Probably not. Probably going to get myself killed or somebody else or just end up in jail for a really long time. But it's the cool factor. And what I've done is I've just laid out a few of the automatics that I own to kind of give you a feel for if you're just kind of dipping your toe in the pool of automatics, what you're looking for, what to expect, and how some of the different operations work. Again, nothing overly technical. I am not a knife maker. I am not a professional. I'm just an enthusiast that loves to have different types of knives. So let's take a quick look at what we've got here. Brought out just 2 ProTechs and 3 Microtechs. Very, very popular brands when you're looking at automatics. I would tell people generally, if you're just out shopping for the first time, the paramount thing is check your local knife laws. There are a lot of states where everything I have sitting here is completely 100% illegal to own. You will never be able to have one in your lifetime. And, well, let's face it, that blows. A lot of laws really suck, but that's the way it is. I know when I lived in Minnesota, they had a really weird law. You could own these by law, but you couldn't carry them. Well, what the hell good does that do? If I'm just a collector and I just want to have something sitting in a display case or hanging on a wall, sure, I kind of get that, but, these are practical knives. I'm not, investing in $10,000 presentation grade knives here or anything. These are practical everyday carry knives. And they're excellent everyday carry knives. And you're going to hear a lot of people contest that and say, no, I would never carry such a, like an out the front knife. I would never carry that because tactically it's this. And it's like, shut up. Tactically this and that. Unless you're a professional out there defending your life or everyone else's on a daily basis, I really don't care to hear about your tactical opinion. That's the way it is. Like I said, I'm not a professional. I'm just an enthusiast. And I give my opinion as such. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. So, luckily, I live in Florida now. They're legal to own, and if you have a concealed carry license, this is covered under that as well as pistols and everything else, so you're allowed to carry them as well without restriction. So, just to kind of go up the quick line here, this was a limited edition Microtech Scarab. It's a double action automatic. This particular version features all carbon fiber inlays, gives you a tritium gas tube insert, so when all the lights are out, you can actually find the switch, find the knife and find the switch in the dark. Kind of a neat thing. It's got a very aggressive glass breaker on the end. This is actually a carbide tungsten tip on the end there to be used. And I actually prefer this over the other ones they use because these are ridiculously sharp and pointy and can end up digging into you when you're carrying it, but we'll talk about that later. So what you're looking at here is a double action automatic. So when I rock the switch forward, it's going to shoot the blade out. When I pull the switch back, it's going to retract the blade for me. Now, the interesting thing about this is people are automatically, if they don't know anything about these knives, are scared of that. They're thinking, well, is it going to deploy in my pocket? Is it going to deploy as I pull it out? What if my finger hits it accidentally? You need to make a conscious effort because what you're actually doing is the springs are at rest at all times when the blade is retracted and also when the blade is open. You're actually basically, think of it like a pistol. You're cocking it as you're moving it forward and then you're releasing it when you get past the break point. Think of it like a Glock safe action trigger. You're cocking it, you're coming past the break point, and then you're deploying it. Now, again, the springs are at rest. It's actually going to take a conscious effort to close it as well. This is the double-edged blade done in the black. Love this blade profile. This is when you think, or excuse me, when I think of an automatic knife, especially an out the front, this is the blade profile that I think of, that cool double edge. This is one of the absolute sharpest knives I've ever owned. It's ridiculously sharp. This is the one that did this to me. Ironically, on the day that I was going back to work, after being out on medical leave for 7 weeks recovering from a surgery, I was opening a get well card from one of my fans. And damn thing, didn't think about it being double-edged. I moved the blade out of the way after I opened the envelope, sliced me right open. About 3 hours before I was supposed to go on the air for my show, this is what happened. Rushed out, got the stitches and whatnot. So when I say it's sharp, I mean it. So great, strong double action. The Scarab is one of the larger automatics you're going to get your hands on. It's one of the larger Microtech automatics as well. When you start getting into stuff like the the Halo series and stuff, you're obviously getting bigger. But for their standard double action carry knives, this is one of the biggest that they've made. So that's that one. This is an Ultratech. This one I love. This is my Ultratech. Ooh, Zombie Tech. And actually tomorrow I take delivery of my SOCOM Delta that's done in the Zombie Tech finish too. Can't wait for that. You know I'll be doing a video on that. The Ultratech is pretty much the common, the everyday. The Daytona was a little bit smaller. Then obviously you can go smaller up there. I'll get to that in a minute. The Troodon's about this same size. You get into the Combat Troodon, and then you're getting into the size of the Scarab here. So this is pretty much the great everyday common carry size. In this one, I've got the Tanto blade in the black. Again, I just love how it looks. It just looks evil, wicked, mean, and nasty, and it really is. Plus having, of course, the individual blood spatter being done. Each knife was completely different. There are no two knives alike. These were all done by hand, and that was kind of what I dug about this. Plus, I'm a Walking Dead fan. I've been a zombie movie fan ever since I saw Night of the Living Dead when I was a little kid, probably about 5-6 years old. And I've seen pretty much every good zombie movie you can think of, so this was kind of a no-brainer for my collection. Love how it feels in the hand too. The spots where they've done the jimping on this, there are plenty of handholds for it to be comfortable. This is probably the only thing that I'm not a big fan of, is the way they did the glass breaker on this. It comes to an extremely sharp point, and you know what? It hurts sometimes when you're carrying it, or if you go to reach for it and your hand hits it. It's not really all that fun, but I still love that knife, and I think the Ultratech, if you're going to be getting into a Microtech, this is the one you need to go with, whatever finish, whether it's black or urban camo or whatever else other colors that you see that you like. The Ultratech is a medium price point. This is a limited edition, so this was like $750, but a standard Scarab double edge without all the embellishments is still going to run you $400 to $500. That's a pretty pricey automatic. This is going to run you $275 to $300 in the various finishes. So I think it's a good medium price point, at least for Microtech, because they're always going to be on the higher end. And it's a great, slim, easy carry knife. The little guy up here, I searched this one out for a while, the UTX-70. They kind of come and go in production. Sometimes you can find them, sometimes they're impossible. I love this little thing. The size is crazy. This is a crazy small knife. I mean, geez, my watch is almost bigger than this thing is. This is just crazy cool. And yeah, maybe a little bit of a novelty. I don't care. I chose this one specifically with all of the serrations because this is going to be kind of like a letter opener and a package opener for me. Everything I own gets used. Nothing is a safe queen. Everything gets carried. Everything gets used. And I've actually carried this one quite a lot. Just a fun little knife. You can't always find them, so I like that part of it too. You guys know I love exclusivity. Then you get into ProTech. ProTech is another really wonderful brand. They make a good quality knife. Some are just nicer than others. I got rid of my Godfather. This is a Godson. The Godfather had the big 4-inch blade. It was just a little bit too big and cumbersome for me to carry every single day. This was one of the custom editions, where the frame does have all of the embellishments in it. They did a really nice job. It's a really good looking knife. The mosaic inlay into the button, that was custom. Then of course the wood, custom as well. Now this is a side opening automatic. So just by firing the button, and this has got a nice strong spring to it as well, it's going to fire out the side. Again, another knife that I love the blade profile. If I change anything, I probably wish this was the mirror polished variation, but doesn't matter. And it comes to a needle-like point. It's not going to be good for prying at stuff, but if you're going to pierce, this is definitely one of the knives that's going to pierce very, very well. So to close it, I'm going to have to hold down the button and then close it up. Very strong action, very high quality, pretty lightweight. You know, when you compare it to something like this, it's a considerable difference of weight in the hand, and still a little bit lighter than the Ultratech as well. Good quality knife overall. These are not very expensive. The standard version of this, I think, is right around $200. I think this, if I recall correctly, was right around $400 with the custom work that's been done on it. Again, it's not one of their full house customs, but it's got some nice custom work on it, making it unique, making it a bit different from everybody else's. Good little carry knife, really is. If you live in a state where it's legal to carry, this is one I would tell you to certainly look at. They're very cool, and I think it's a good bang for the buck. You just have to decide if you want out the front, where you can keep a firm hold on the knife at all times, or if you want a side opener where you have to give it room. You can't have your hand over this when you go to open that up. So do keep that in mind. Everybody's different. I like them both for different reasons. Now this little guy, oh, I absolutely love. This was based on an original design by Jeff Harkins. Jeff Harkins, to buy a Jeff Harkins, you're spending thousands upon thousands upon thousands to get into one of his customs. And I just can't justify it, can't do it. But this is based off of his ATAC, ATAC, all capital letters. And what this is it's a double action. What double action means is not like this, where it's a double action switch, where it both deploys and retracts the blade. But this gives you double actions. You can either find the hidden switch. This is the pivot, that's not the button. And the hidden switch here is going to be underneath the top carbon fiber panel. So when I squeeze that, it's going to deploy the blade for me. It's got a liner lock, just move that to the side, and you feel the blade tension from there down. Close it up, or open it up with your thumb manually. Now, I'm not saying this is a way to skirt the law, and I don't know, you get pulled over and the cop asks if you have weapons, and you show it to him and he goes, oh, well, what is this? You're not going to lie and say, you know, that this is not an automatic. Obviously, it has a thumb stud on there. Probably going to prevent anybody from even asking. It has no visible switch on there. Again, probably going to keep anybody from asking. But I would still never encourage lying to law enforcement for any reason. You're just going to get yourself in a lot more shit. So, do you need an automatic? Well, as evidenced here, I can open this up just about as fast doing it manual or automatic. And most everybody that's carried knives for any length of time can, because that's what we're used to. So do you need an automatic? No. And one of the things I would tell you is this: if you're going to be severely abusive, remember, the more moving parts built into anything, more likely you're going to have issues. When you look at something like an out the front knife, you can have issues with this thing breaking internally. One of the things I love about Microtech is they design a system purposefully so that if you fire this, and I'm not going to fire it into my hand, don't worry. If you fire this into an immovable object, it's not going to break anything internal. It will actually derail itself off the track. And if that happens, all you've got to do is, when you've got it open, is just grab the blade, pull it forward, tug on it till it locks itself back in place, and then it works perfectly fine. They have an ingenious system, and that's again why Microtech is on the upper end of what you're going to spend when you buy an automatic knife. So again, more moving parts equal more things that can go wrong. If you're somewhat careful, I would have no issue. You're going to talk to a lot of guys that are actually using automatic knives. You know, when they're, you know, if they're in the service, if they're actually doing things where you're going to be tough on it. Would I take it out in the worst possible conditions, dropping this in sand and everything else? Because you got to realize there's still an opening to contend with here, and crap can get in there. Yes, you should know how to disassemble your knife. You will void the warranty. You have to buy the customized tool for these customized screws. But you shouldn't have had to do that and clean it out if you're going to carry it in those conditions. If you're just kind of a normal everyday guy like me, probably not really a need to. That's what they have service centers for, right? But I wouldn't have a problem if I was told I could only keep one of my automatic knives, everything else I had to get rid of. I would probably carry this. I would probably have this as my sole everyday, can pretty much do anything with knife. You've seen plenty of videos on the internet. Oh, no, not those kind of videos. The kind of videos where you see people doing torture tests and abusive tests on their Microtech out the front knives. You see them jamming them into wood, jamming them into trees, this and that. They can't handle it. They're actually very, very, very tough, and they lock solidly when they're open, so I wouldn't worry so much about that. Is it worth the expense to you? I don't know. Only you can judge that. For me, if I'm going to buy an automatic, I'm not going to look at those $30, $40, $50 automatic budget knives that are made in God knows where, in China or elsewhere, that you don't know the quality of. Because at some point, at least in my mind, if I am carrying some sort of weapon, a knife, a pistol, whatever it may be, then there's a very good chance that I may need to call upon this to save my life. And if that time comes, I'm not going to rely on a $30, $50 automatic. So yes, I'll spend $300, $500, $800, $1,000 to get what I want and to get something of comparable quality to a manual knife in that price range. So if you're considering getting into an automatic, I say again, just check your knife laws for your state. Make sure that you're actually allowed to even own one. If you are, do some shopping, watch some YouTube videos, talk to your friends, join up on a knife forum, and see what their experiences are. See what they've handled, what they've enjoyed, and what has served them best. So anyway, just a quick little overview here, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.